A win today for people living along a Kentucky highway they call dangerous. Why semi-trucks will now be banned from the road.
Volunteers from across the state are helping restore benefits to thousands.
Fishermen have a new spot in southern Kentucky they say is like no other in the nation.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. The sun was shining on the bluegrass today.
It was, but change is in the air as we head into our weekend. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey with an early look at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hi, guys. Change is already in the air. Those sunny skies, long now a thing of the past. We've got clouds across the region, and the entire region now basically shrouded in overcast. 75 Jackson, 77 London. These are areas that we were hanging on to the sun a little deeper into the afternoon. Only 70 Frankfort and Lexington. That's still not too bad. Defender radar network with the clouds, though, we're seeing dry conditions for now. Back to the west of Bowling Green, little band of some rain beginning to press on into town, and that is going to try to hold together. If you're watching us right now from Columbia to Somerset to Danville, you at least have a chance later this evening for a shower to come calling. A lot of that stuff is beginning to dwindle the farther east that it gets. See the thunder and lightning associated with that to the southwest of Nashville, all being pushed by this big storm out across the Plain States. Major severe weather outbreak, by the way, underway from parts of Kansas down into Oklahoma and Texas. We're not talking about a big severe weather event, but we are seeing the possibility for some rains, maybe as early as late this evening into parts of southern Kentucky. Here is the here are the weather headlines for the weekend. More storms are on the way. Some of those could be on the strong side. Overall, it's an unsettled pattern as we go into Kentucky Derby week. Guys, a new hour by hour for the weekend in just a few.
All right, Chris, we'll see you in just a bit. Thank you. They have been fighting for years to make the road they live along safer. Tonight, they finally have a win.
Today, the state removed Kentucky Highway 151 in Anderson and Franklin counties from the National Truckers Network. That move bans semi-trucks from this road. WKYT's Victor Puentes in Anderson County with our top story at 5:30.
The series of crashes along this road led the Federal Highway Administration to remove it from the National Truck Network. It also led people living along here to sue the state's transportation cabinet. On Tuesday, we told you about the lawsuit filed by a group of people living along Kentucky 151 against the transportation cabinet. They wanted a judge to force the cabinet to limit commercial traffic on this road. Today, the cabinet said the request they made at the federal level back in March had come through. That'll allow them to remove this road from the National Truck Network, limiting the types of commercial vehicles allowed on it. They said, quote, after a deliberate review of all safety factors and recommendations, it is incumbent upon the cabinet to take immediate action, limiting the amount of truck traffic on Grafenberg Road. One of the men who filed the lawsuit said they had a meeting today with transportation officials. He said the cabinet had taken positive steps, but the lawsuit is still ongoing. He did credit the governor and the officials for being willing to listen.
They took a giant step toward a resolution of this problem on 151. It's not over. The lawsuit is not over.
Isaac said they're still asking for a safety survey of the road. The cabinet spokesperson said they'll be notifying regional trucking companies and law enforcement of the change. Other people living here say they hope it has an immediate impact because the road isn't made for those large trucks.
But it's when they're loaded and they hit those rumble strips, it'll just literally jar you right out of the bed, practically. And there goes one now. Yeah.
A transportation spokesperson said they'll be putting signs up at either end of the road, letting drivers know that certain vehicles won't be allowed. In Anderson County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Also, as a part of that, transportation cabinet officials say they will be notifying local and regional trucking companies of the change so they can let their drivers know as well.
A traffic stop last night turned into a drug bust. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Whitley County. Deputies say Ricky Smith was stopped by police after crossing out of his lane while traveling on Kentucky 1119. Smith was given a sobriety test and was found not to be under the influence. Although a needle was seen lying on the floorboard of Smith's car, and after a search, deputies found meth and more drug paraphernalia. Deputies also recovered more than $4,000 in cash. Deputies also arrested Smith's passenger, 35-year-old Jerry Smith, on a warrant for failure to appear on charges of assault and harassing communications. Both men were taken to the Whitley County Detention Center. In Barron County, a high school student is facing charges for posting a threatening message online. That threat was made via the writing website Wattpad, a site intended to showcase amateur writing. The Barron County School Board system said as soon as they were notified, they took the necessary actions on their end.
Safety is our top priority for our students. Anytime that we receive information that there may be something that's harmful to our students, either physically or their emotional well-being, then it's very important to us to investigate that.
The student was charged with terroristic threatening second degree and terroristic threatening third degree. They have not returned to the school since being charged.
State officials have created what they're calling a tactical operations center to tackle a backlog in possession of public benefits. The state launched BenFind back in February to be a one-stop shop for recipients of benefits like Medicaid and SNAP. But after the switch, thousands of people received letters saying their benefits had been canceled when they really had not been. And now nearly 100 state workers have volunteered to process thousands of cases and make sure people get the benefits they need.
Obviously, anytime you roll out a massive benefit system, like I just said, serving 1.5 million people, no matter how much you test it, there's going to be issues involved. Certainly, we've found the issues, we're addressing them, but it really took an effort like this to come together, focus what we were doing, and ensure we were providing the benefits that were necessary for all the residents of the Commonwealth.
The group has already processed more than 10,000 cases, and they'll be in Frankfort through next Friday. It is not the type of opening day you typically hear about. A new creek has just opened up in southern Kentucky.
Fishermen say the new man-made Hatchery Creek in Russell County is like no other in the nation. New at 5:30, Phil Pendleton shows us why this stream is so different.
At first glance, it does look like a natural creek, but it's not. It takes 18 million gallons of water a day from the fish hatchery and meanders through a forest area. A mile later is emptied into the Cumberland River.
The stream falls 47 feet in elevation. That's almost 6 building stories, including 30 feet in a series of steep pools through the final 500 feet.
Trout anglers will find a variety of runs, rifles, glides, and pools that provide a fishing experience they might only find in trout rivers in states far away.
This new facility far outweighs, number one, the old Hatchery Creek, which was laden with silt.
It's also more than 3 times the length of the existing creek. Today, hundreds of officials and anglers came out as the new creek was dedicated.
I was walking along the creek and I looked, and in the Army we'd say that is a target-rich environment. And I'd say if you don't catch a fish, you should probably get a refund on your fishing pole.
The creek cost nearly $2 million and almost 10 years in planning and construction. No taxpayers' dollars were spent. In Russell County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Well, that looks like a great spot. The new Hatchery Creek is located just below Wolf Creek Dam off US 127 south of Jamestown in Russell County.
Credit card fraud takes place every day in a variety of ways. You can't always prevent it from happening, but you can create some obstacles and make it tougher for someone to get a hold of your personal information. Now, treating your credit cards and account numbers like cash is one way to head off some potential issues.
This particular case is kind of the oldest trick in the book.
Postal inspectors say Joshua Stevens pulled a bait and switch of sorts on 6 financial institutions in a credit card scam.
He would apply for various accounts as the account holder, then he would get debit cards associated with those accounts, and then he would take those debit cards and make various high-dollar purchases.
Once Stevens bought the items, he would report he had never received the card and it had been stolen.
Something doesn't seem right with this.
A credit card from Pima Federal Credit Union was one of the banks Stevens said was stolen.
They filled out fraudulent paperwork stating that they had never received the card and the card had been stolen from the mail.
Investigators quickly realized that was not the case. Surveillance tape from the retailers involved showed Stevens himself making purchases with the credit cards.
He was using these purchases was to augment his business and make some high-dollar purchases and save him that expense and put that back on the taxpayer and back on the financial institutions.
In all, more than $10,000 in losses. Investigators want consumers to know this is not a victimless crime.
Sometimes there's a misconception that there's insurance will cover that, and there is no insurance coverage for fraud. Any losses that are incurred by a credit union directly affect our members, what services we can offer to our members, and also participation in our communities.
Joshua Stevens was convicted of bank fraud and served just under a year in prison. He was also ordered to pay restitution.
Derby festivals continue in the Bluegrass. That's coming up in just a few minutes here on WKYT.
I'm Bill Bryant. Hillary Clinton's campaign office opens in Lexington. Attorney General Andy Beshear says his legal challenges to Governor Bevin are not personal. The bottom line is ahead.
A Lexington neighborhood arguing over a proposed garbage transfer station. That story coming up on WKYT News at 6. A breaking news alert to pass along to you. Former UK basketball player Ed Davender has died.
Davender suffered a heart attack earlier this week and was on life support at UK Hospital. He played for the Cats from 1984 to 88. He was 49 years old. We'll have much more on Davender's death ahead for you on WKYT News at 6.
The Clinton campaign opening up shop in Lexington.
And Kentucky's Attorney General says his fight with the current governor is nothing personal. Bill Bryant has more in today's Bottom Line.
Good evening. The Kentucky Democratic presidential primary is 2 weeks from next Tuesday, and today Chelsea Clinton was in Lexington to open up her mother's campaign headquarters. She urged the crowd at Eastland Shopping Center to work to get out the vote on May 17th for Hillary Clinton. Chelsea Clinton talked about her mother's experience as a former First Lady, U.S. Senator, and Secretary of State. Chelsea Clinton said her mother has been involved in solving issues since long before she was born. Secretary of State Allison Grimes and former Governor Martha Lane Collins were among those introducing the former first daughter. Attorney General Andy Beshear says his lawsuit and challenges to Governor Matt Bevin's actions are not personal or political. Beshear is a guest on this weekend's edition of Kentucky Newsmakers, where he said his lawsuit against the governor's immediate cuts to higher education will bring an important ruling.
The lawsuit isn't about whether we should fund pensions or higher education. It's does the governor have the power to decide what to fund, when to fund, solely at his whim? Does the governor have the power to defund the state police when the legislature has provided that funding? That answer is no.
You can see the full edition of Kentucky Newsmakers, also featuring a discussion with WKYT investigative reporter Miranda Combs about her story on a sheriff allowing his son to go along with him. It airs Sunday morning at 6 on WKYT, and it repeats tomorrow at 10 a.m. That is Sunday morning, 10 a.m. on the CW Lexington. Now, there will be more from the National Campaign Trail coming up on the CBS Evening News at 6:30, including Indiana Governor Mike Pence's endorsement today of Republican presidential contender Ted Cruz. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Today's weather couldn't have been any better for participants in this year's Great Balloon Rush Hour Race. The race is just one of the events in anticipation of the Kentucky Derby. While a charity balloon race was canceled on Thursday morning because of weather, this morning's race went on as scheduled. The final race is scheduled for tomorrow morning.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yeah, the race tomorrow morning may have a couple of issues as showers and thunderstorms blow back into the Bluegrass State. Though as we start our weekend, things are nice out there. Clouds are rolling in, but temperatures are still fairly mild. 70 Lexington, Frankfort, and most of the surrounding areas right around 70, upper 70, southeastern Kentucky. A live look into the Hamburg Pavilion area. Getting ready to begin that Friday night out on the town with a lot of clouds. Temperature right at 70, humidity inching its way up. Winds are out of the north-northwest at 7 miles an hour. We are on the cooler side of a warm front that is off to our west, and it does have a weakening band of rain heading toward parts of the Bowling Green area. Majority of this continues to just shrink as it gets to the east into some of that drier air, and that trend will carry us through the evening. Though if you're watching us right now from Somerset, Campbellsville, maybe up toward Danville, you have at least a chance for a shower to hold together as we get deeper into the overnight. The real action is off to the west. You get behind this warm front, underneath it, that's when the air gets really unstable. It's juicy, it's tropical. And look at all the little individual boxes. Red, tornado warnings. The yellow for severe thunderstorm warnings. Flooding a big issue here as well. It's a nasty severe weather outbreak for our neighbors to the west. Around here, it's scattered thunderstorms that will carry us into the day tomorrow. Hour by hour forecast with thermometers that will continue to run on the mild side tonight. Many areas are going to struggle to get below 60, though the farther north that you go, your thermometers will hit the 50s. Notice that little band of some rain does try to get into parts of the region late this evening. Most of us stay dry until late tonight, tomorrow. Here comes that warm front to the north of that 50s, to the south of it 70s, blossoming into the low 80s. Those thunderstorms the thermometers just take off on us. But look what happens as we get into the warmer air. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, we got to watch for a couple of clusters of fast movers of some strong thunderstorms into town. Heavy rains would be a good bet with those as well. That would carry us into the day on Sunday with some additional rounds of showers and storms across the region. 7-day forecast. Temperatures into the 70s tomorrow. Though it's, as we were just showing you, it's not a one number fits all. Still some scattered storms around on Sunday. Long range call for that Derby week forecast. Unsettled. Any day can feature a shower or thunderstorm. Best chance right now appears to be on Tuesday, then again maybe late Wednesday, with a bigger push of some cooler air arriving into Thursday and Oaks Day on Friday. I've got 66 on Oaks Day right now. Can you handle that?
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah, it's a little cool. It'll be windy. It could actually,
that means it's lower than 60.
We may fudge that number down a little bit in the next few days.
In my book, that means it's a lot lower than 66 with the wind. So.
Well, that's true. Good point. Good point.
But at least it's not raining.
Yeah.
As of now,
right.
it is not.
And that's happened.
I will take it.
Don't jinx us.
Yeah.
All right.
Looking about 4 collisions right now, including one on the outer loop of Man of War near Rapid Run. That's causing some issues because traffic leaving Keeneland trying to hit that direction on Man of War. That's obviously causing an extra backup. Also a crash on the exit ramp from New Circle Richmond Road, and they're working one on the north side too still near Meadow Lane. Drive times this afternoon we're going to be impacted to Nicholasville. That's because of a lot of Keeneland overflow traffic there, and to Versailles, of course, it's heavier than usual this afternoon past the airport. Now back to you in the studio.
The Derby favorite working out this morning at Keeneland, Rob.
How did Nyquist do? What did trainer Doug O'Neill have to say about him today? And we will look back on the stunning developments last night at the NFL draft involving Laramie Tunsil. Stay with us. Sports is next. Well, just a stunning turn of events at last night's NFL draft involving Ole Miss offensive tackle Laramie Tunsil. He was projected to go in the top 3. Shortly before the draft began, Tunsil's Twitter account was hacked, showing him smoking through a gas mask from a bong. Tunsil fell to number 13 in the draft. He was taken by the Miami Dolphins, but his night would then get worse. Just after he was drafted, hackers took over his Instagram account, posting text messages of him asking for and receiving financial help from his coaches for his mother's rent and bills. Then in the interview room, he said the messages were real and he took money.
Hold up, the message you talking about from, oh no, those true. Like I said, I made a mistake of that happening and it happened.
So was it an exchange between you and your coach for money?
I have to say, yeah.
Ole Miss is already under investigation for similar violations. The school says it will vigorously investigate the situation involving Tunsil. Kentucky Derby favorite Nyquist was back on the Keeneland main track for a final tune-up before next Saturday's big race. Nyquist worked a mile in 1:41. The 2-year-old champ will ship to Churchill Downs tomorrow, and trainer Doug O'Neill says he's happy and his horse is happy.
He's a playboy. You know, he knows he's good, and he likes to flaunt it a little bit, I guess. He is such a handsome colt, and he's so gifted, and we're all just so privileged to be able to rub shoulders with him. You know, he's a special horse.
Meanwhile, at Churchill Downs this morning, more than a half dozen Derby starters were on the track getting in a gallop before tomorrow's expected rain. Karen McLaughlin trains Mo Heyman. The Lexington native says throw out the Florida Derby, where his colt finished 4th to Nyquist.
He just had 2 bad minutes, and it was, he had a bad day. So we are very happy with him. He's doing great, and he's, we're ready. We just hope we draw a decent post.
24/7 Sports reporting UK football has offered scholarships to several players ranging from the class of 2017 through 2019. In the class of 2017, cornerback Lamont Wade from Clairton, Pennsylvania. Delray Beach, Florida safety Marquise Waters. In the class of 2018 now, safety Quantrell Rains, Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. A pair of Bossier City, Louisiana, dual threat quarterback Justin Rogers and receiver Terrace Marshall. And in 2019, Springfield, Ohio defensive tackle Isaiah Gibson. Those are the latest reports of offers for UK football players. Report now breaking that Ed Davender has passed away. We'll have that coming up at the top of 6. Stay with us.